Coming up on this week's episode of Unpicked. When these blog pages on Instagram, for example, like Shade Borough, say something like that, they don't give you the details.
There's no way on earth that he was gonna stay with this girl long term, because contrary to popular belief, and no disrespect to the guy, but he's mad corny as a boyfriend. He's so corny.
I think that in general, humanity is moving further and further away from morals and values and standards, and further into degeneracy.
Wagwan peeps, it's Venom, what you saying? Alongside my home slice, damn me to the Zane. When she and I get together on the poddy, ask anybody, the vibes are insane.
Join our family and feel free to come by. Be on Apple Podcast and Spotify.
Yeah.
New drop on the way every Monday at 6.
Tune in and come see what we unpick.
If there was one thing you could change about yourself, what would it be?
Probably have either my afro back or dreads. Probably dreads.
So you'd have hair on your head. That's the one thing you change. Okay.
That's it.
Fair enough.
I never got to rock dreads. I thought about it once, didn't do it, and then lo and behold, age took the chance from me. So yeah, that'd probably be it.
Sorry about that.
Probably be a Rasta man right now.
Okay. Fair enough. My brother started his lock journey. Had his first retwist, sending me pictures and that. He's like, do you wanna join me? I'm like, I've embarked on a new hair journey. I've left locks behind.
What? How long is his hair?
It's not that long.
That's what I'm thinking. The last picture that I saw of your brother's hair wasn't that long.
Exactly, it's not that long at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning.
He's right at the start. I said, in a year, you'll feel like you're getting somewhere. But for now, yeah. Yeah, two
of my brothers decided to go down the lock route. One of them's cut it off now, but yeah. And it just makes me feel like, see, I was meant to do it. Like, but
you wasn't meant to do it.
I was meant to.
You wasn't. I mean, maybe when you were younger, when you had hair. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Fair enough. You went down the Omarion.
Shots fired. It's all good. Shots fired.
You went down the Omarion route. You know what I mean?
It's all right.
That's where you went. Right. Toby's trying to get me to throw his ball.
Throw the ball then.
If I throw it once, we're not going to have a podcast today. So I'm keeping it here.
You just tail wagging at your foot like, bruv, throw
He's
the
bare
ball.
looking at me like...
Yeah, like, bruv, throw the ball.
Anyway. Hey, hello, hi, peeps. It's your home slice, Dammy Zane in the building, and I'm here with my podcast bestie.
What's good? It's the boy Venom in the building.
His energy seems a bit low today, but let's see if we can pick it up. This is the Unpicked Podcast show. Thank you for tuning in. For our already subscribed family, thank you for coming back. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button if you like what you hear /see. Socials will be in the description, and QR code for Instagram will be on the screen. Although I should probably start putting the TikTok QR code on the screen as well. I don't know. We'll see what happens post-production. Song of the week. Have you got one?
Song of the week. I have. My song of the week is Wait For It by Her.
Okay, cool. My song of the week is Sending My Love from Zayn.
Who's Zayn? Zayn Malik?
No.
Who's Zayn?
It's an old school song. When you listen to the playlist, you'll know what that's about. Yeah.
Sending My Love by Zayn. I mean, I don't know Zayn.
Yeah.
So from my Have You Seen was the Noel Clarke update. Have you seen?
No
updates on Noel Clarke. So Noel Clarke, it's actually come out like who the news publication was that he had the beef with, etc. So it's The Guardian.
Okay.
Which I didn't suspect. But yeah, he's won the first round of his defamation case.
So what does that mean?
I don't know how many legal proceedings they do. But the first round, he's won.
But what does that mean?
He's one of two.
What does that mean?
One of three. It means that he's in good stead to win the case.
No, but what does that mean? When I ask what does that mean, I'm asking what has he won exactly? So what is the what is the first part of the claim that he's won?
He went to court or took them to court for defamation because they did no due diligence.
Okay.
In speaking to him before publishing anything that that they had said against him that was defamatory.
Okay, so what the first part? He's won the first part? So what have they concluded about? What's the first part? What's been concluded? What's that about?
It just said that he'd won.
Yeah,
as in the early rounds.
That's not.
I guess they go through rounds.
That's not enough of information for me. It's either he's won the defamation case or like.
No, it doesn't say he's won the case. It said he's won the early rounds.
Let me move to Google because it's not making any sense. Defamation. Right. So the judge has rejected the idea that the news articles didn't give Clarke the opportunity to deny what had happened. So he's rejecting the idea that the news articles had been dismissive of Clarke's denials, pointing out that they featured prominently that they were allegations and not facts. But he has said that it could be defamatory, so the case can move on to the next stage. So that's what they've agreed on. Okay, cool. Because I really needed to understand exactly, like, to me, I think because of my legal background, saying to me, he's won the first part, that doesn't mean that's neither here or there to me. I need to understand exactly what was the ruling for me to just see what I'm saying. That's why I asked that question. Like, okay, so what does that mean to a G? Because when these blog pages on Instagram, for example, like Shade Borough, that's probably where you might have seen it, say something like that, they don't give you the details. So they'll position it in a certain way that makes it seem like everything's honky-dory, which is why I asked, okay, but what does that mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, what does that actually mean? So essentially they're just saying, yeah, it could be defamatory, they can move forward. But they don't agree that he wasn't given a chance to deny it. Okay, cool. Let's see what happens. Laurie Harvey's broken up with Damson.
Mr. Damson.
It seems like his 1 year subscription had ended and it's on to the next.
I mean, obviously. But nobody thought that was her last partner. No one thought that was her husband.
I don't know. I really thought that they would make it past the 1 year. You know,
and time doesn't make a difference. 1 year, 2 years.
No, because they were saying that she tends to like change them out after a year. I thought Damson would make it. You know, he had that post where he was going on about, I can't remember how long he said, 80 years with you or some crap like that. I really thought he'd not make it to 80 years, but I thought he would do longer than, you know.
To me, it doesn't matter how long even if she has her 1 year thing like Leonardo DiCaprio has his 25 years old thing, it don't make a difference if someone surpasses that mark. This girl is not settling down with this guy. Nobody believed they were getting married at all. So even if they lasted 2 years,
I was hopeful that they would last. I was hopeful that they would make it.
I was talking to my boy about this yesterday, and there's no way on earth that he was gonna stay with this girl long term, because contrary to popular belief, and no disrespect to the guy, but he's mad corny as a boyfriend. He's so corny. I've never seen a guy look so good and present so well single and then become so unattractive in a relationship.
What's Ciara's husband's name? What's Ciara's husband's name again?
Russell Wilson.
He's another corny guy that's super attractive.
I wouldn't. I mean, he might be corny in terms of his character, but I don't think he ever presents as cool or something. Like Damson used to refer to himself as the president or the CEO of the DSS. And when he was single, them man were moving all suave. But when he had this girl, he was moving super wet.
So what has that got to do with anything?
So from the perspective of a girl, that's not going to wash forever. You can't look at a guy being as corny in the way that he's corny as him and find it cute.
I disagree.
For longer than a certain period of time.
I disagree.
You can disagree.
I'm a woman.
Who else?
I'm a
Okay.
woman, so I would be on the receiving
Right.
end of that, and I can tell you that I disagree.
Yeah.
Unless you're a woman dating men, I don't see how you can tell me otherwise. You can have your opinion from a man's perspective and say that you think he's
That's exactly what it
corny,
is.
which is fine. But I'm telling you, as a woman, depending on the type of woman that he's dating, it won't him being corny, quote unquote, is not the thing that's going to make you go, oh, that's annoying, I don't like it anymore. I don't think so. Or it's not something you'd fall out of love with over time.
Okay.
I think it depends on the woman. Laurie is a certain type of woman. And if we don't know why they broke up. We don't know if he broke up with her, if she broke up with him. We just know that
Oh, of course not.
they've just said that they've separated, they still got love for each other, all that stuff. So we don't know. But I think for some women, that's perfect. That's him being lovey-dovey and really romantic and sweet. Doesn't translate as corny. It translates as exactly what I've just described it to be. So I think in our community, a lot of black men tell themselves that they tell themselves what women like based on what they see on social media, as opposed to based on what actual women in real life say. So
I mean,
you know, and I think
it's
the same vice versa. No, not really, because I think, and also I also think that they base it on what the baddies say online as well, because a lot of the women that talk the loudest that guys pay attention to online are the ones that men find really attractive, and those women are the quote unquote refer to themselves as the baddies or the attractive ones online, and those are the ones that men listen to, and those are the ones that will be saying, like a bit of toxic, guys are boring when they're
toxic is so far from corny, but yeah,
but it's the same. That's why I brought up Sierra's husband, because actually it was even the men that was going on about how he's corny. They're the ones putting that definition on him. The girls are like, what I would do for a husband like him. The men are like, he's corny. Why? Because he's romantic and he's sweet and he panders to his wife. Do you know what I mean?
Agree, but I don't think Russell
I feel like
and Damson are anywhere near
similar. That's not the point. I'm not trying to compare. I'm not comparing them. I'm saying that even for what I'm saying is men are the ones that are referring to other men as corny, because they're being romantic and pandering to women. And the women that actually say that they don't want men like that they want a bit of toxic or a bit of bad boy, majority of the time, the reason why men listen to those women saying that is because those women are the ones that are attractive. And the reason why men take stock of what they're saying is because they want to bag those women. So they justify why they're being dickheads. They justify it with, well, that's what the girls say that they want. No, it's the girls that you like that say that. The ones that have their heads screwed on that you don't want, because for whatever reason, maybe she's boring or she's not attractive enough for you. She should have a big bum or whatever it might be. Do you know what I mean? She's not a baddie or whatever it might be. You don't want to listen to those ones. You want to listen to the ones that are online talking rubbish. And it's vice versa for the girls. So girls that are hyper aware of what men say online, it's like, okay, but sis, there's probably guys in real life around you that don't share that toxic misogynist mindset, but you're only going to pay attention to the ones that do have that, because they're the ones that are shouting the loudest online, and more time you're listening to them because you find them attractive in some shape or form, is what I'm saying. So Damson, the fact that him being corny being the reason why it would never last, I can't agree with that. Because
I hear that, but then personally, I guess what you're
as a woman that finds him as a woman that finds Damson Idris attractive, the way that he was romantic and, you know, the letters and the captions and all that, if my man did that for me, I would be like, my man say, like, you know, I would love it. I would be eating it up, chopping it up. it's not surprising because if you look at the society that we live in now, commitment doesn't have a good rep. Unfortunately, it doesn't. So it's not surprising that when you look at people in the industry or whatever, and you're looking at the younger ones and you're looking at the type of relationships we're seeing within the younger crowd, I'm talking the under 30s in the industry, look at what we're presented with.
Yeah, but I mean, those kind of celebrity relationships are really high stakes anyway. And it's taking its toll on the younger people because they're kind of going through it firsthand, trying to protect their reputation, have these high stakes relationships that are also like super public, and trying to be public and not public with those relationships.
It doesn't remove that doesn't remove from the point that I'm making in that the way that society is now in our community, because I doubt other races care about Laurie Harvey and Damson Idris and whether or not they stay. It's the black community that cares about it, yeah? Within the black community, how many under 30s people in the public eye, how many of them are staying in long-term relationships and actually making it to marriage? How many of them are jumping from person to person to person, or even if they marry, you're hearing so-and-so cheated and there's a whole hoo-ha and then they gloss over that and it's everything's passa. Do you know what I'm saying? And then when you look at reality, when I say reality, I mean like people that are not in the public eye, it's reflective of that. So me saying I want to see who Laurie's next boyfriend is, it's not me saying she's going to go the distance with this boyfriend. It's me saying I just want to see who she goes to next. Because she's like, we've seen the ones that we know of that we've seen. There's a certain caliber.
The ones that made it to the timeline.
There's a certain caliber. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm interested to find out who's gonna be next. You know, or
who's left? Who's left? That's under 30. That's black because she does seem to like black guys.
She's gone for over 30 as well. You know, because she dated P Diddy.
Well, Future was, how old was Future when she dated him?
I don't know. And she dated P Diddy as well. And then she dated his son. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to find out who's next. Is she gonna spin the block, or is she gonna?
Who, Michael B. Jordan?
Maybe since we've seen him and
Steve
together. Yeah, you never. I don't know. You know. I don't think he would. Well, we don't know what he's gonna do. Do you know what I mean? Nelly and Ashanti spun the block, and we've not.
Yeah, but there was a big time period in between.
We haven't seen Nelly smiling as much as he's been smiling now.
Yeah, but that's the kind of time period where you have time to grow, reflect, iron out issues, have conversations, etc. Evolve, come back, bring a new version of yourself to the situation. That was only 2 years ago. And Michael B. Jordan, like, it was just the other day.
Yeah, the day
before Damson.
You never know. You never know these people. Because we just don't know we don't know the actual, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
I mean, that whole NDA thing is annoying. Because it would be interesting to actually be able to understand what this girl is up to with these relationships. Because they make no sense to me.
Do you know what? It could all be. It could actually even be contractual or like publicity stunty. You never know.
That's what my guy was saying. I was talking to my guy yesterday. He was saying that. So like, would you date her as in next if you were single? Obviously, if I was single, I said not a chance, bro. I said she's beautiful, and I wouldn't not date her off the timeline. But I said she couldn't make me a timeline boyfriend like. In the real world with these, man, no way.
Do you think that when men leave Laurie Harvey, their reputation is diminished in any way?
I think they're tarnished in a way. No, I don't think that about Damson, funnily enough. But I do feel like that about Michael B. Jordan, only because I thought that, to me, he's a special guy. Like, I have a special relationship with him as a person, just in his journey into fame and the films he's done and whatnot. Like I've hold him at quite a high esteem. So him dating her wasn't like, oh, I don't hold her in high esteem and whatnot. But it was very much like I felt like as a part of his journey, which seemed very calculated and very above the board, etc. I was like, oh, okay, so he's dating this beautiful young woman, and then they're gonna, go the distance and whatnot. So when that didn't transpire, it felt more like it just felt a bit rough, because it seemed very much not like he had decided to break up with her, more like something just went awry and she was just like, we're done out here kind of thing.
Who knows?
And after that, yeah, no, of course. But after that, I was like,
yeah, well, good luck to them. I just found out, I was shocked, I'll be honest. When I heard, I was
really?
Yeah, I was like, what? Really?
Okay, so this week we're going to be talking about immorality in the black community. Zane.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
What's my thoughts? I think that in general, humanity is moving further and further away from morals and values and standards, and further into degeneracy in general anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's magnified within the black community, especially when you look at what is online.
In what capacity? Why is it magnified in the black community? And what constitutes the black community even?
Black people.
Anyone black anywhere in the world.
Black people. Yeah. Okay. Black people. Yeah. And I don't know what the cause is. I don't know if it's social media and people just wanting to do more shock factor online. I don't know if we can blame music, if we can blame TV, film. I don't know what it is. But the more I'm online, the more I'm seeing degeneracy within the black community on the content that they're posting online. And I would like to think it is exclusive to the Western world.
Right.
It's not, because I'm even like seeing content from countries within Africa, and even they are posting more like immoral content. Like, I'll give you an example. I saw a skit. I'm presuming it was a skit of these African ladies wearing a towel, and there was a guy in the bed. Each one of the girls were going in, they were playing, when you flip the cup, and if the cup lands like properly, then they would have a turn riding the guy.
When you say wearing a towel,
they were naked.
Riding the guy for real? Okay.
That's why I said we presume it was a skit.
Okay.
The original trend on TikTok was you flip the cup, so there'll be a group of you. Each person takes it in turns flipping the cup. If you flip the cup and it lands correctly, then you get to eat the food.
Right.
And you eat the food up until the point where the next person flips the cup correctly, and then you go and they continue.
And they go and eat.
And they eat. Yeah, so that was meant to be the trend. But for some reason, it turned into flip the cup. If you flip it round correctly, you get to ride the guy. And then the next girl flips the cup and she keeps flipping it till she gets it. And then, do you know what I mean? It's and I was like, what even made you think of that idea? Obviously, and I saw it on X. So obviously someone seen it on TikTok and then posted it on X. So that's how things go viral. Do you get it? It's not, I don't really get that type of content too tough on my TikTok feed, but I saw it on X. And that's not the only type of video I've seen from, whether it's America, the UK, in Africa, of content like that. There's a more recent one. It's called the Ceiling Challenge. I don't know if the original was from the Asian community. You'd tape your phone to the ceiling and then they do
Right.
like a montage of clips of them messing about, like just having fun, right? It got into the black community. It turned into twerkathon. Let's put it that way, right? The girls would put their camera on the ceiling and then go ham with like the booty shaking, yeah. And there was all different compilations. Then you even had guys encouraging it, creating their own videos, going, girls, like, let me give you a tutorial on how we want you to do these videos, innit? Like, don't waste time doing the fun bits.
Doing this bit.
Just go straight to the booty shaking. That's what we want to see. Do you know what I mean? Then it turned into like, who did it better? Whose video was more perverse, more booty, all that stuff. And it's like, why is it that... And I can go on and on and on and on of different, like, not even just trends, but the type of content that is coming out from the black community on socials, where it's very sex orientated, or just stuff that is very like, why are we doing this? Why are we degrading ourselves? Because we want to do content, because you want to go viral. And
but then a lot of these, the twerkathon at least sounds American.
Actually,
Like,
you'd be
was it
surprised.
American?
South Africa.
South Africa. Oh, damn. That's a lot of us. God damn.
In fact, according to TikTok, the girl that's holding the throne, she's South African, and then she's done.
I know the throne will come from South Africa.
She's done a few others since then, and she's included boobs and everything in it. Like, it's very saucy. Do you know what I mean? So it's not just America. And obviously the twerking thing, you would assume it's American because we've called the dance twerking, but in Africa, that's just bum shaking. That's nothing. That's part of our...
Yeah. That's been happening. I mean...
it's for me, I think it's concerning, but I don't know, man.
It's definitely an issue, but then there's so many things that it intertwines with.
Go on.
There's obviously historical, which I'm definitely not going to get into, but it does go all the way back to slavery. But I'm not. We're talking.
Let's go into it. What about it?
I mean, the value of black people had been reduced to sexuality during that period of time. Strength, obviously, durability for work, and sexuality for many different reasons, and in ways and forms, those things transcend all the way to present day, just in different guises. But definitely within our own culture, we've adopted a very high importance for sexuality, sexual attraction, and all things connected to that. So it's concerning, but it's also been very, very prevalent for the last God knows how long. And hip hop has only like exacerbated that change. Because if you look at culture, let's say, for example, in Africa, at the same time as the birth of hip hop, and then you watch the trajectory for most of it until very, very recently, you'll see that the African traditions of like shaking bum have been very non-sexual for that whole time. That's just a way that, one of the many ways that we dance, let's say, for example, in Nigeria. But you will see that as it became very sexualized in America, eventually it then bounces back and then reverberates in other black spaces to become more sexual. It's not always been that, but it's the perversion of things that already existed. Just like people shaking up their chest. They do that in Ethiopia. They have a dance that's more shoulder-led, but the breasts will be moving, do you know what I mean? Because of where they're situated. And it wouldn't take long for that to come to the West and then bounce back and just become more of a titty dance than it is what it actually is. It will happen over time. The more popular it becomes in the West, the more it will become destroyed. Or, sorry, not necessarily destroyed, the more it will become sexualized. Because that's the main arsenal of the West. That's the main selling ingredient. That's the main secret sauce. Everything come back to sex.
Okay.
You don't think everything come back to sex in the West?
I ain't got anything to say about that. I feel like I've said what I need to say in regards to my opinion on it. I don't know what is causing it. Like I said at the beginning, I think social media plays a massive part in it.
Oh, for sure.
I think that Black people are really, really intelligent. Everyone has the ability to be creative and do things, come up with different ideas and create stuff or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I want better for our community. I don't know why we always go back to sex. I don't know why that's what it becomes. I don't know. It's just, and it's feeding into the dating scene. Because in the dating scene, hookup culture, like I was talking about it with one of my boys literally yesterday, and he was like, in London, we don't have a dating scene, Dammy. We've just got a hookup culture. We don't have a dating scene. People don't date in London. They just want to bone.
They just want to do the thing, and
that's all they want to do. When you go on socials, it's the constant gender wars. It's men talking about making money and using that as a tool to get sex, and then it's women talking about, like, or not even talking about, being half naked, trying to have the biggest booty, the most volump shape, so that they can attract men, so that they can get the men to pay for things. And it's just like, we can do better than this. Like, we can do better than this. It's and I don't know what's caused. I couldn't say what is causing it. And I hear it about the slavery and, you know, what we've been through and the trauma, and that still being a thing, and the West using it as, I hear all of that, but we can't keep using that as our reason for why we do things now. We can't keep doing that.
Oh no, that's why I said there's no point going into it.
It needs to come to a point where it's like, okay, no, you lot are just dumb. And the only thing you've got to offer is sex. That's why that's all you have. Like, when you look at like in the music industry, we've spoken about this in the past. When you look in the music industry, it's even become more apparent now that the female rappers have no skill.
Yeah,
it's just sex they're selling. But it's like,
there's only one rapper that I rate that's out now, who's like, her skill is sick, but she still leans into the sex thing sometimes, but nowhere near as the rest.
Well, mine.
Nowhere near. It's a manageable amount. It's an amount that I can be like, you know what? Fair enough.
Cool.
Because it's kind of like if a gangster rapper started flexing about money for a second, you'd be like, bro, relax, and then they stop and they go back to just bars. I'm like, there we go. But the difference is the exploitation, because I'd say that music is one of the most important cultural hubs for Black people.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is different for a lot of other communities. Some communities, it might be religion, it might be the synagogue or the mosque or the community center. But for Black people, I think it's music. And the issue with it being music is that you're only faced with the artist, and there's a whole plethora for you to choose from. You can pick anyone that appeals to you. Like, that's the whole point of it. Millions of artists. But those artists are all beholden to people who are not even from our culture. And those people get to dictate exactly what these people are.
But that's the point that I made.
Not only do they get to dictate that, they will pick Black people from impoverished areas so that they are able to control them with just money. And then you get to dictate to more educated Black people, wider communities and whatnot, on what their narrative should be.
Yeah.
My addiction to the physicality of the Black woman's body comes from hip hop. It doesn't come from my genetics. It comes from me watching rappers with cars that bounce, with women on the cars with bodies that bounce. That's what I love. That's what I love, and that's why I love it. That's what I watched growing up. So fortunately for me, it kind of stopped with the women. Some people, they might idolize the man and be like, okay, so how did he get the car that bounced and the woman that bounced or that chain? Or how did he get all of them around him or blah, blah. There's so many aspects to it, but none of them are positive in terms of you're trying to build a community or a lifestyle to benefit you or your community or your family. It doesn't matter which aspect from those videos you pick. The path you go down to get the thing is not going to be good.
This was the argument I made when we spoke about women's over-sexualizing themselves, and we were talking about the rap industry as well. We've had 2 conversations about this, and the point I was trying to make, I don't know if I conveyed it properly or not, was that they are pawns being controlled by a bigger conglomerate, and the bigger conglomerate is not a black-facing conglomerate. It's the fat cats, or what I refer to as the fat white men that run the whole thing. They know that sex sells, so that's why they sexualize the women. It's not that Megan the Stallion wants to, or she's the one doing her own marketing, and you know she doesn't hold the she's not the decision maker. She's the person in front. And so I'm glad that you're making the point now, because when I made the point then, you didn't agree with me. So it's interesting.
Yeah, it might have been a different context.
Yeah, but that was the point I was making, in that, yeah, they're over-sexualized, but they didn't decide to over-sexualize themselves. It's kind of like you have to over-sexualize yourself if you want to be mainstream in this, in that domain, then that's what you have to do, and you're not the one that makes a decision at the end of the day. And actually it's not even just hip-hop, it even goes into R&B, because
sorry, that comes under hip-hop to me in
yeah, but yeah, so I made that point before, so I do hear that, but I'm more speaking about people that are content creators now. You know, everyone wants to be one as their side hustle in various degrees, and I'm getting tired of seeing content from our community being going in a certain direction, unless their niche is something like fashion, makeup, hair. If it's like dance content, there is a niche of dance content where it's like the Afrobeat dances or amapiano dances and stuff. But then when it's just like, when you give our community free reign with challenges, trends, comedy, anything like that, it's going to either be talking about relationships, specifically him versus her, or it's going to be some sort of sexualized content. And I'm tired of it. And I just don't know where we're heading, if that makes sense. So it's, yeah. It's almost...
I mean, I don't think the course changes because the structure doesn't change. The course only changes if the structure changes. The best option or best opportunity that we had for that of recent would have been the rise, and will be the rise, of world music and Afro beats and that Afro sound, which is more of a world music sound anyway, because on the world music platform, that level of sexualization isn't accepted.
That's what you think. Afro beats now.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I said that was the best chance, but then I've seen how it's progressing.
Yeah, it's moved. It's moved for quite a few years now. It's been going in that direct. It's for quite a few years, because like I remember, like, was it 5-6 years ago, I was watching music videos at my parents' house, and my dad made the comment. He was like why? But then actually, even back in Fella's time, they always had girls sexualizing themselves as part of the deal
performance
for African music, unless it was gospel music. So it's just that they may or may not have been, well, depending, Fella's girls would be half naked. But if you go to like some of the like Afro Juju type or One Bear music, maybe not. They'd be wearing their wrapper and all that. So yeah, may be, but I don't know where we're going, Venom. I don't know where we're going. And it makes me, and you know what, with me, yeah, I don't look at things in isolation. Like I obviously can see the links between this and how that's affecting other things in other places. Mm-hmm. Everything is a cycle and everything intertwines and everything interlinks and everything impacts everything. And I see it that way. So I'm like, okay, that's the content. If it's on TikTok, that's the content that these younger girls are going to see. So not only are they seeing degeneracy in music, they're seeing it on a content creator level. And then even when you look at like TV shows, films, I feel like everything now is hyper. Do you know what I mean? Everything is whether if it even if it's like, okay, not sex, let's say it's crime or violence, it's hype. It's like it's everything so.
Well, I think violence was the original seduction. Like everyone was seduced by violence and explosions and action and, you know, destruction. So destruction is quite a seductive force. But the numbers behind sex, like sex doesn't lie. Sex wins. Like people do something sexual and they see the gratification instantly because it's an instinctual desire of humans to find other humans being sexual engaging. If you know what I mean? Even if you want to reject them, like you have to first engage and then reject. And so you can't beat that. The only way you can really beat it is to create some kind of, I don't even know what the word is, but for example, when I always say, yeah, free the nipple, it's because the secrecy behind the female nipple doesn't make sense in 2023. It's the dumbest thing to be censored in 2023.
I agree, but I don't think they should. I don't think they should free the nipple anymore. You know.
No, but I think the thing is they wouldn't free the nipple, but the reason why is because it removes all the power behind the nipple. But a nipple shouldn't have power. Like if you go on Instagram, there's girls who like on those kind of like lustful accounts who have pictures of their boobies out, but because they're wearing like a bra that's sheer, it's okay. But if they had their boobie out, it's not okay. Even though you can literally see the exact same thing.
I hear that.
A man there, nipple topless is fine. If he's trans, it's fine. If he's a trans man, but if he's a trans woman, it's not fine. It doesn't make sense. And all of these kind of random laws about how and what you can show the body allows you to tease a lot of ideas about sexuality. Whereas if women were able to just be women and take full control of their image, then there's more women who are not sexual than there are women who are using sex as this selling device. And
I don't know, you know, because I mean, booty cheeks are not all that sexual. Do you know what I mean? It's just ass cheeks that you sit on, right? But since we're allowed to show them now, look how much ass cheeks you see on a daily basis on social media. So I feel like if they did that with the nipple, then like people will utilize that to sell the sex, because that's what the guys want to see. You want to see the nipple? I'll show you the nipple. Do you know what I'm saying?
I hear it.
I'm glad they ain't freeing no nipple, because I feel like if they free the nipple, it will be taken too far. It will be taken too far, and I don't think it needs to be.
I think that the porn industry probably took a massive hit financially when, when the laws or whatever restrictions that social media accounts had around how women are allowed to show their body were lessened. And they probably had to change their business model to focus more on advertising, because people buy sex, materials far less. I'm pretty sure nobody goes to the shop and buys a porn magazine anymore. Whereas that would have probably, when I was a kid, the top shelves were filled. Any shop I walked in, the owner could be Muslim, it didn't matter. The top shelf was for the adults. That top shelf probably don't exist no more, because women can do whatever they want. So that the value of it has no value. So yes, it does still have its power to a degree, But to another degree, it doesn't, because you can't sell it. So if you can't sell it,
you just want to see nipples. You just want to see nipples, Venom. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay. I feel like
I'm used to women being free. I think it's not the way that.
I don't think that we need to be more free. I think people are free already, to be honest. Clearly,
they're not.
Clearly, because you know,
what people are doing is not free. Then
I think they're too free now. That's why we've got this oversharing of information. It's even if we take it away from people exposing their bodies and shaking ass all day online to seduce the guys. Yeah, let's take it into like morals around relationships. Yeah, there are platforms that capitalize on immorality in relationships within the Black community. So like, for example, laughing and joking about girls going on girl trips and cheating on their man and that being okay, or guys going on boys trips and going on, you know, them like rave trip, like we spoke about this before. Like DLT Motor, for example, and how many girls did he sleep with at DLT Motor, and glorifying that sort of like casual freeness in that way. To me, it's like, how can you expect people to value family, to value what you call a successful relationship, marriage and stuff like that, if it is almost like being encouraged and it's being glorified to be unfaithful, to have no morals, to have no sense of loyalty to the person that you're with, or to even be with someone? Do you know what I mean? Like, why would you expect our community to have a good dating mindset if all we see online from these relationship blogs and stuff is them glorifying things like cheating or things like having multiple casual sexual partners, for example? So like, for me, it's not even just women being half naked or men encouraging it or trying to do first traps as well online. It's even the mindset that the community has online. I feel like, again, it's straying further and further away from morality. Do you know what I mean? And so it's even more than whether they're freeing their nipple or not. It's also people are doing wild things and sharing it as well. It's not even like it's a secret anymore. Now it's like, I'm going to go right in to this platform to tell them my business.
Have them broadcast my thing.
And it's never nothing good. It's always, I did this crazy thing. And it's like, it's getting crazier and crazier. And no one's like...
It's a piece of string.
No one's like, but that's mad. Why would you do that? No one's telling each other the truth.
They're all encouraged. No accountability.
Everyone's been encouraged.
No accountability.
That's crazy.
There's no community. Because you're calling it the Black community, but there isn't a community. Like, communities start local and then they grow. But locally, there's nothing. You go outside, there's just other Black people, but there's not actually a community. You don't congregate anywhere. You don't discuss any issues.
They congregate online.
Have no elders. Yeah, but that's not congregation, because those people are interchangeable. They're from here, there, and everywhere. They're not the people that are around you congregating online. They're people from Japan, Black people from Kazakhstan, Black people from Russia, Sudan, you know what I mean, Jamaica. And now we're all in this one thread. Yeah, but we're not neighbours, and we're not a community also. Or at least this isn't a real community. It's the illusion of community because we all share the same skin colour. But our community is, it's outsourced. We don't own our community, and the community that we subscribe to is not real. It's fiction. So if there's nothing local, there is nothing. There's no way to help a group of people who have no base, and we don't have a base. So you can't start to teach a people because there's no elders. How do you have elders?
There's elders, but they too are shaking Nash online, innit? So let's be real.
But you can't talk about the worst. If you're talking about the best elders, there's loads of Black married, business owning, entrepreneuring, whatever the thing that you aspire to be, that's wholesome.
But there's people,
loads of examples of that.
Yeah, but those are the people that have had our generation.
They've had our generation.
So they're the ones that, like, for example, my parents.
Yeah.
Had us, and it's our generation and younger that are moving mad. So it's not that it's not that these examples or these, I guess, pillars of our loose term community are not there to share or teach the morals and values and whatever that I'm saying that used to be. They're there, but our generation are choosing to stray away from that, irrespective of having those figures there. So as much as I hear that the whole concept of there isn't a community, the concept of community has changed. It's no longer just the people in your borough or just the people in your little cul-de-sac in your estate or whatever. Community now is what is online. It's that plus what is online. That's what it is now. We kind of need to just get with the times. It's just a shame that community, in a wider sense, this is the direction they're going in. And it's like, you can't, when you're talking sense, we've said this before as well, when you're talking sense or you bring out content that is like, doesn't stand for that, you don't really go nowhere. The only time you do,
you won't gain traction, because
the only time you gain traction that I've seen is where if it's faith-based, because then the whole everyone within that faith will follow you, or if it's like the men have their thing, then the guys follow that. The girls have their thing, like women empowerment, they go for that. But if it's anything to do with where, like, collaboratively as a community, men and women within it, how can we better ourselves? Falls to the wayside.
But back to your point of the online community. The reason why it's not a community is because communities are led from the top down. They have leaders, they have chiefs, they have people appointed to senior positions to control certain functions that benefit the community. They make the hard choices, they make those decisions, they speak amongst themselves, they enact a plan. Online does not have any of that. It's just members talking amongst themselves. All you can get from members talking amongst themselves is common threads. And the common threads that go across many people have to be very simple and basic. So you won't get progress because very simple and basic ideas are non-progressive.
So I hear what you're saying, but in terms of how community is defined, right, it doesn't need to have a leader. Community is just a group of people that either live in the same place or have a particular common characteristic or share a certain mindset, attitude, interest or whatever, right? That's what community is. So you don't have to have a leader for you to have a community. So I still stand by my point that we do have a community. It's just that the community is trash.
Yeah, I'm not saying that by definition it's not a community. I'm talking about by purpose it's not a community.
I think by service it's still a community. But it's still a community. Like, you can't ignore the meaning of the word and use it as you like. The word has meaning.
Of course you can. That's what language is for. That's what language is for.
No, I disagree. That is
100% what language is for.
The word has a meaning, and if we're going to use it correctly, I have used it.
I'm going to use it incorrectly.
Then I have used it correctly. Do you understand me? So we are a community.
I'm definitely going to use it incorrectly.
Yeah, so we are a community. We're a community of people, whether it's just men, you're a community of men. You share the same gender. Community of women, you share the same gender. Or you are a community of white people, Asian people, black people, African people, Caribbean people. Like, you're still a community. Do you get what I'm saying? That's what community means. But the community is trash. The community is not doing what the community is supposed to do. The community is not functioning correctly. That bit I can agree with. It's not doing what it needs to do. But we don't have the elders teaching the youngers that this is not the way to go. And we don't have the youngers respecting what the elders have to say. We don't have people calling each other out. And like, the masses are not calling each other out. It's like the minority are doing that. But because the majority are the loudest ones speaking the most, and they have this shared, again, they themselves are a community, have a shared perception of what life is supposed to be now, because everyone wants to be woke and everyone wants to be doing up. Oh no, like, these things don't care. As long as everybody does what they want to do, everybody's allowed to do what they like. type of mentality, that's what's, to me, I think that's what's fostering this whole, people are not really taking stock of, okay, what I'm doing and what others are doing, does it even make sense? Like, how does that progress our community? How does that make us better than we were 5-10 years ago? If anything, since the pandemic, the community has fallen to the wayside, like in terms of mindset, in terms of what they talk about, in terms of how they act online. Like, it's just moving crazy. It's got to the point now where I'm like, do I even want to raise kids in this sort of like situation where there's no guarantee that your kids are gonna come out decent because of what is out there right now.
There was never a guarantee.
That's crazy.
There was never a guarantee.
That's crazy.
Prisons weren't invented for us.
That's crazy.
Prisons been in. Well, actually, they were invented for black people, but like
in America,
prisons weren't invented for our generation. Prisons been there for forever because people been moving wayward forever. The possibilities of the human has always been multiple.
Yeah, definitely.
The difference is that we just have a very bad situation on our hands because there's no structure and no leadership, and everyone wants to subscribe to this idea that we don't need a local community or leadership.
I think,
and that it's absolutely fine to just be this monolithic.
I don't know if
black
it's
people, even though we're from everywhere under the sun.
I don't think it's necessarily we don't think we need community. I think it's more we had our gripes with how our parents or our parents' parents did things, and we feel like because we've been traumatized, we can do it better or we can do it differently, and then we've gone the complete opposite direction. Like when I speak to there was a time when all I would see on my TikTok is like parent content. And like now there's all these new terminologies for different types of parenting now, innit? There's like soft parenting, there's this, there's that. Back in
Nonsense.
There's all sorts of things now. But it's us millennials that created it, because a lot of millennials went to therapy, they're healing their traumas from their childhood. They're like, I ain't gonna do this because that didn't work for me, because I'm gonna give the kids too much like freedom to express themselves and do what they like, and and I feel like that is part of the problem. So it's not that the leaders are not there. It's not that the leaders are not there. It's the mindset now of, I hear it, but I'm gonna do it my way with it, and you can't tell me nothing because I have human rights, and like you telling me what to do and not listening to what I have to say is toxic. And it's and if anything, all it's led to is people having a pass to do whatever they like, and no one can tell them nothing. So now you can write in to a podcast boasting about how you cheated on your partner, and they're not going to turn around and be like...
Who you're engaged to, even.
Yeah, and they're not going to be like, you cheated on your partner, that's wild, and let you know that that's not okay. And so they're going to laugh and be telling you to cover it up. Do you know what I mean? Like, they'll make jokes about it because it's content, innit? It's going to get people interested. People are going to talk about it for a while, and boom. And there's no like real thinking about, okay, but what are we teaching people? Like no one's learning anything. If anything, all they're learning is that they can do what they like, and there's not going to be any repercussions. No one's going to look down on you. No one's going to tell you the truth about the impact of what you're doing and why it's wrong or why it's right if it's right. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that's the core of it. I also think, now that I'm processing my thoughts, content creating has led to people, and because of the way the algorithm works and the way that people react and respond to content, it's meant that people are now trying to find the most wild ways to get that engagement online. That's what's happening. And if you even go further back from that, people are doing that because they're disgruntled with working. They've seen other people do influencer stuff and seen what they can get from it. Some people are like, I'm not making enough for my 9 to 5. I need something extra. Content creating seems to be the new wave thing. You know, it's a thing everyone wants to do. So, you know, and that's how they fall into it. Next thing you know, you're twerking for the
camera on the roof.
For the camera on the ceiling.
On the ceiling.
So you can go viral and get followers and then get followers. You know what I mean? And once you've got the followers, now you can launch your business, or now you got brands reaching out to you to do ads and all that stuff. It's everything. Like I said, that's how I think about things, innit? I look at things and there's so much going on. And I think the heart of it is greed.
No, I think actually the heart of it is poverty, more so where you was just speaking, because I think
fair enough.
The thread that ran through what you were saying was that essentially what these people are doing and why they're doing it is to uplift their position socially, economically, wherever that may be. And in order to do that, you first of all have to be either in a position that is undesirable or a position that you think is undesirable and want to move to another position. And it's that difference, that gulf, that then creates the desire for you to do these other things. Some people are saying, I'm not getting enough from my 9 to 5. And then you have to really dig in and try to understand, well, what is enough? Because if your bills are paid, your fridge is full, whatever, is that not enough?
That's why
just
I said
what
greed.
Is enough.
That's why I said greed.
Yeah.
That's why I said greed.
Enough is only based on context.
And I feel like a lot of people are very happy to lose their integrity because that's what they're chasing. Because at the end of the day, they just want to, it's like, we all know social media is a drug. You get a dopamine hit. That's what they're banking on. You get the dopamine hit and you keep scrolling and you stay on the social.
You get another hit, yeah.
You just keep going. That's what they want. They want to waste your time. And you're just there, mind-numbingly scrolling. You're losing brain cells, scrolling. You're not learning anything. You're just scrolling. So it's like, when you're on the other side of it, where you're creating content to make money, or some people, they do it for the status, got bare likes, I got loads of followers, or whatever the reason may be, you're still chasing that dopamine hit of the likes, of people talking about you, of going viral, of getting subscribers, of getting followers, of reshares, comments, like you're getting that dopamine hit. And that is also funneling into it, not just that could also be the driving factor, not even just poverty and I need to make more money, so I need to become a content creator because it seems easy. All I do is make videos or take pictures and post it. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's all sorts of things, but I feel I just want Black people, I'm not going to call it a community because you don't think it's one, but I just want Black people to think of other ways that they can do it. Like, you don't have to sell sex or violence for you to do what you need to do. There's got to be more to you than shaking ass on TikTok. Do you know what I mean? Like, the size of your bum shouldn't be your unique selling point. It shouldn't be your USP. Like, even on Instagram, you're taking pictures, your body shape shouldn't it shouldn't be the deciding factor. It shouldn't be the way you pose and all your pictures. You have to show that you're hourglass. Do you know what I mean? Or you have to show that your ass is fat, your waist is small. It doesn't have to.
It's compelling though. It's compelling.
I mean, but we buy into it more than anything. Black community buys into it.
That's why I'm saying it's compelling, because I can't sit here and act like I don't like it.
The guy, and this ceiling challenge, there were men going, of course, once the challenge came to our community, the girls had to sexualize it. But then there was also men going, but of course they sexualized it because that's the content that you engage with. So that's why they've done that, you know? And when they even did that, some of you were even telling them to do it more. you know what I mean? One guy was like, the video is 13 seconds long. That's how long the video is. He was like, the trend lasts for the particular clip. It tends to be 13 seconds long. He goes, if you're not shaking bum by second number 2, you're doing the trend wrong. Do you know what I mean? And that was his contribution to the whole. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, why is it our people that are like, you know, there's more to us than that. You know, something that started off as a fun, you know, thing has turned into a sexual thing. Once it hit us, it turned into degeneracy, is what I call it. Or like when we talk about relationships. Why is it never positive? It's always negative. It's always like us hailing the negative stuff about dating. Of course, the dating scene is not going to get better if that's all we're publicising. Yeah, but I
mean, the online landscape has changed vastly in the last decade or however long. Like, let's just say the lifetime of YouTube, even though it's longer than that. But all the lifetime of Instagram, not the dating scene, the online scene has changed dramatically. In the beginning of Instagram, you would have never thought it possible that one of your friends would post a picture of them or video, even though that wasn't possible, of them crying, talking about something like that's happened to them that's super negative and You would never imagine that. If you scroll long enough on Instagram, TikTok, whatever, you're going to see someone crying their eyes out because of this, because of that, and I've been this, and I've been that. There was a video of a girl. This is one that I should have put on my Have You Seen? There's this video of this black girl who was crying because she went to an event. She's a content creator. I can't remember what the event was. I saw that. She went to an event.
They take her picture.
She went to the paparazzi didn't pap her. I've been to bare events where there's paps. I know that at this moment in time or those moments in time, you're nobody. So I don't go to the paps to take pictures. If they look at me like, we'll include you in the picture, I'll be in the picture. Otherwise, I'm just like, it's cool, guys. Yeah, I know what this is.
I'm not a celeb.
These pictures are your job. You sell the pictures to make money. If you don't know who's in front of the camera, why are you taking a picture of them? Because how are you going to sell that picture? This girl crying her eyes out. I said, but if you had sense, then you could have taken those tears, which the tears I have no problem with being upset in that moment. I get it. It's a realization that these people don't know I'm not taking a picture of me. And spoke to someone. Talk to somebody in real life. Why are you crying and posting it online? But this is the problem.
To go viral.
People are happier to do that, to sell their unhappiness, than to actually find out what's the source of why I'm unhappy. Is it even validated? Which is not. And then what's the solution? How do I get, how do I navigate to now I'm not unhappy about this thing? People don't care about that part. So now the landscape is filled with rubbish galore. It doesn't matter what. So where do you go from there?
Exactly.
Which is why you need structure. Which is why you need figureheads.
But my point is, even if you have those figureheads, the generation we're in now, they don't give a heck, Venom. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah, you can't win everybody over.
No, most of them don't care because there are figureheads. Like, you can't tell me that, okay, you might have come from, for example, a single parent home maybe, and your mum maybe was never around or whatever, and your dad was wayward, he's a deadbeat. But you kind of tell me that your grandma didn't come and tell you or teach you the right way. That's just a very nice. Yeah, but that's family. That's family. Yeah, but that's the community. That's part of the community now, locally. No.
Nah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Or you telling me you didn't have a friend who had parents who was a bit more head screwed on, who didn't like look out for. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know my friends used to look. My parents used to look out for my friends. They still do. Telling me, and that's not your parent. That's not even family. That's not blood. But that's part of the community. We have that. It's still there. But our generation and below have chosen to, we don't want to hear that. We think we can do better than that. And I've already explained the reasons why that is. Do you know what I'm saying? And because we're the ones that made that decision, and then we're having children, and the majority of them have that mindset, what are we passing on to our kids? What are they going to pass on to their kids? Do you know what I'm saying? So I think that's got a part to play in that, you know? But I think that it's been this whole like I call it degeneracy has accelerated post-COVID, when everybody was in their house and there was nothing to do. I feel like what came out of that is extremes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Like shock factor now. I'm gonna move mad to get. Do you know what I'm saying? And because of
it also really boosted online like content creation from the regular person as well.
Once they started TikTok, I think TikTok was where it really flew. Because on Twitter's always been a wild, wild west with words. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And porn. It's all over. It's always been there.
Oh my God, the porn flipping hell, man. Just scroll. Lord have mercy.
Especially
any time of day.
Twitter after dark. It's always...
It used to be Twitter. That meant something.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't go on Twitter at night.
But I would go Twitter at night time. Wow. Sorry. Like, because I used to tweet. I can't tweet during the day I'm working and stuff. So in the evening, I'd be tweeting. I'm tweeting amongst the Twitter after dark. I'm still tweeting my shit. I don't care. But like, now it's any time of the day. You can see anything crazy. Any time of the day. So Twitter's always been a wild, wild west. But if you didn't want to engage in it, like, I knew that Twitter After Dark existed, but my timeline didn't have Twitter After Dark content because I didn't engage with it. You see what I'm saying? Now, whether you engage or not, there's so much of it. It seeps through the cracks. Yeah. Once TikTok came into play, I remember when TikTok was just trendy dances.
Yeah, musically.
And funny clips. That's it. Almost like what was the one before TikTok? The video platform, but was it not Bebo? What was it before? That's where Vine, where all the original like eventually Vine got sexual and fell off the
I never actually followed Vine. I used to see the Vines, but I
used to watch Vines. Yeah, at lunchtime I used to watch Vines all the time, like with my friend. Like we used to, like, I know all the originals on Vine, and when they moved over to TikTok and started like reposting it, up to the point where I'd be like, this was on Vine originally. They've just So like I was on Vine, but Vine used to be a place where it was like for like comedy, just fun, banter,
and quick
banter. Like it was on point, and then TikTok used to be a bit of viney / viral dance routines. That's it. Yeah. But then when pandemic really was pandemicking, that's when we had silhouette challenge. That's when we had all these things started to change. And now we've gone the complete other way. With TikTok, if they're not selling you a product, because everyone's selling you something on TikTok. If they're not selling you a product, you get a few dance trends here, there, a few trending sounds here, there. The rest of it is trash. The rest of it is, especially with any content within our community, if they're not selling something, just preface it with that. It's relationships, 50-50, men are trash, girls are this, sprinkle. Or I'm a Piano has now turned into South African girls have back, so all they do is shake Nash now. That's why the song Water Blue, because it was
because girls were shaking back.
And it turned into who's got the biggest ass, who can shake it the most, not
who can throw the water on it and just have the...
There you go. Do you know what I'm saying? And like I said before, I shake my ass all the time in my house. I shake my ass. When I go out, I shake my bum all the time. It's not a thing. But I don't make content out of it. Like, my whole USP isn't Dammy Nyash. Do you understand me? You think of Dammy, you think, oh, bum bum and shaking bum bum and being overly sexual. Like, there's still depth to me. Well, I like to think that there is. There's still intellect there. There's still humour there, obviously. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not just she's a volump babe. That's all we know her for. Do you know what I'm saying? And I feel people need to challenge themselves a bit more and think more out the box. Don't do the obvious. That's all. That's all. Because it's impacting everything.
Fruit is the easiest fruit to grab.
But it's impacting everything, because people are complaining about like the dating scene within the black community. It's hard. Like it's the wild wild west. It's the ghetto. Like that's what we're hearing. But the reason why it's like that is because we've glorified casual sex. We've glorified sexuality. So And then on top of that, we've glorified cheating, we've glorified being disloyal, we've glorified being a player, we've glorified using each other for money, sex, whatever. We've glorified all those things. We're having the wrong conversations. There are people out there, that's all they see online, and that has shaped how they view dating and how they date. So of course, you're gonna find it hard to online date or date in real life, because this is what it is now. How can you expect it to be different? You can't be online shaking bum all the time and then complain that the guys that you're meeting, and it's not, I'm not saying it's a direct correlation. A lot of the time there is a direct correlation, but you need to ask yourself, what am I also putting out there? What am I also, how am I also contributing to the problem? How do I not contribute to the problem? And if most people thought like that, then maybe the dating scene will be a bit different within the, do you know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. But you know.
100% if you're posting your body online, don't expect anything good to come from it. I mean, it doesn't mean you won't find a partner, because you're going to be attracting a lot of people, but at the same time, you're going to have to sift through a lot of rubbish, because if men are seeing the body, they want the body.
Even just face. When you've got a pretty face, the sifting is crazy. Because I find that my DMs, they don't, because I don't post my body like that online. I don't post my body like that. But I still get the DMs, and it's like, okay, I still have to sift. But I think, Dammy, imagine if you was posting your ass and your breasts up and down on that app, what your DMs will look like. Because I ain't even doing that. And I'm not saying I'm the best looking girl. I'm not saying I'm the prettiest girl, but I know that my face does not decline. Do you understand me? The face card does not decline.
Jeez.
I know that already. Yeah. No one can tell me any different. And I know what my DMs are like. And I know what kind of guys come approach me, because I have volump lips. They haven't even got to see the body yet. They just assume, oh yeah.
Yeah, but you can make good assumptions. I already know how the game works.
Exactly.
You can make good assumptions.
Exactly. I had one guy tell me one time, oh, I knew you had a big bum. And I was like, how do you know that? Because I don't take body pictures like that on my Instagram. And even if I take full body pictures, I'm not there with my ass is not the first thing you see. That's not the focal point of the video. Yeah, I'm not doing the check the bum. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm not, it's very like, I'm playful with what I post. And he was like, no, I could just tell. And I'm like, from what, seeing hair up, you can tell? He's like, yeah, I can tell.
I mean, it's a skill that we practice.
I don't know how you lot do it, to be honest.
It's a skill that has been perfected.
But the point I'm making is, even when you're not even trying to be like that, you still got to sift a lot.
Yeah, man, I'm making analysis.
Imagine, I can only imagine what the girls...
But any girl posting body, like, I don't know what you're playing at. If you're actually looking, man, I don't know what you're playing at.
If you're trying to... And again, this is only for the people that want something serious. Like I said last week, think about your CV. How are you presenting? What are you showing? Like, because, like I said, even when you're not showing that, you're going to get some unserious people fall through the cracks. But imagine if you're not showing it. Don't complain to me. I don't want to hear it. Don't complain to me that you're only seeing trash. Because if I look at your profile, I'll be able to tell you why. It's what I'm going to say. I'll be able to tell you why. Like, I don't know, man. Everyone be guided, but it's scary. It's very scary where we're heading. And I do want to also say, it's not just the degenerates that I'm seeing more of. I definitely think that from a wider sense, in terms of the whole world, the violence thing is like another different ball game. Like, now we're seeing obviously people are trying to make people aware of what's going on in other parts of the world, and so we're seeing a lot of traumatizing content in the name of keeping us aware of what's happening. But I think that it's desensitizing us as well to some of these things. Yeah. Like, this week alone, I've seen videos of people dying on my screen, people being killed, whether that is off the back of a war or a friend deciding to slit her friend's wrist. Like I've seen also, yeah, exactly. But as I'm scrolling and I'm seeing it, I'm like, okay, I've seen something like this last week. It's not registering that is a life. I've just seen someone lose their life on my screen. This is not film. This is not a TV show. It's not acting. It's a real life. Like, I feel like in general, and that's why I started the conversation with, as a society, I think that we're just moving further and further away from morality. I don't know where we're heading. Maybe Jesus needs to come down now, and
it's only one direction.
Maybe Jesus needs to come down
Only
now. But please, Lord, bring my husband, even if I only get to experience him for a month or so before everything scatter. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I actually can't.
Yeah.
Actually can't.
What can't you?
I just can't. I just cannot.
Cannot what?
I cannot.
What with me? With me asking for a husband?
With a whole you. Yeah, with a whole you.
What did I do wrong now? What did I do?
He did anything wrong.
Gosh, a girl can't even want even want a husband. You know? Can you imagine?
It's more so the context. It's off the back of what you just said.
Which is what? Which is what? What did I just say?
About the degeneracy and the immorality and the where we going. Jesus, Lord, come down, and then back to the husband.
I will always ask for my husband.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you might want to change that, actually.
To what?
To a more complete sentence. Like, until I receive him. Otherwise, you're just asking the universe to keep you longing for a husband.
Yes, until I receive him. Correct. That bit was silent. You know what I mean?
No, you must vocalize it.
Yeah, I should vocalize.
Don't
I don't believe in the universe. Otherwise, God knows. We have a conversation.
We live in the universe, but yeah.
We have conversations. God knows. We have conversations. Yeah. It's okay. Nah, I'm cool. I'm good. Some of it's banter when I say it on here, to be fair.
Oh, no, I hear that.
Yeah.
But words are powerful, man.
Oh, I know. That's why me and the Lord be having words all the time. You know what I'm saying? But yes, I think we can wrap it up.
Yes, sir. So this has been another entertaining, insightful, deep episode.
Yeah, we didn't laugh much this. We didn't laugh this much.
There was some laughs.
Last week we laughed bears, man. I enjoyed last week.
Yeah, but
we
it was a lighter topic. It was a lighter topic.
Was it? Not really.
It was a lighter topic.
Just as bad as each other, but it's alright. Hopefully we'll laugh next week, guys.
But like I was saying, I've been your boy Venom.
It's been your girl Dami Zane.
It's the Unpicked Podcast, and you can catch us here every week. And we're on all of the platforms, so wherever you like to listen or watch, we're there. And we'll be giving you the goodness. Our links are in the description. And don't forget to subscribe and give us the thumbs up, give us the like, give us the high ratings, so we know we're doing a good job.
That's right.
And on that note, until the next time,
peace.